Chapter 425 Immortal Gu and Mud. Translator, Chibi General Editor, Chibi General. Crack. Fang Yuan crushed a gutstone in his hand. Immediately, mud flowed out, staining his palm. Fang Yuan's gaze was solemn. He picked another rock on the mountain and held it in his hand. His hand was stained with yellow mud. With a slow speed, it was slowly disintegrating the rock, turning the hard rock into more mud. A moment later, Fang Yuan could distinctly feel the rock shrinking. After 10 minutes, the rock completely turned into mud, vanishing. The yellow mud flowed down the space between Fang Yuan's finger, flowing onto Donghun Mountain and continuing to cause damage to the mountain. Fang Yuan was quiet for a moment before speaking, asking, "How severe is the situation?" Little Hu Immortal wiped her tears as she sobbed, answering, "Most of Donghun Mountain had been affected by the mud. 6 out of 10 of the gutstones below the mountain waist is turning into mud. Master, what do we do? Donghun Mountain is going to perish. Sob, sob, it is my fault. I did not notice it earlier." Fang Yuan patted Little Hu Immortal's head, consoling. "This is not your fault. You do not need to blame yourself. The culprit is that swamp crab, as expected of a desolate beast, as expected of an earthly calamity. Land spirits' abilities are all different. They all differed and were greatly dependent on the Gu Immortals and their blessed lands." He sighed, continuing, "I was still rejoicing earlier than the desolate beast did not have an immortal Gu. It turns out this swamp crab used an expenditure-type Immortal Gu and hid the Gu's power inside this mud. Nothing happens if it comes into contact with flesh, but all mountain rocks would be turned into mud upon touching it. During the calamity earlier, the swamp crab spewed out large volumes of mud, and the crab army appeared from within the mud. Fang Yuan killed an immense number of crabs, but little did he know, the real trump card was the mud itself. Fang Yuan guessed that this is the effect of the rank 6 Gruel Mud Gu. Gruel Mud Gu was a naturally formed Gu, very commonly seen as rank 1 and 2, and still rather popular as rank 3 and 4. It was often used by Gu masters to build cities. As rank 5 Gu were rare, many rank 5 Gu masters would choose to temporarily use this Gruel Mud Gu when they did not have a good rank 5 Gu. When this rises to rank 6, there would only be one in the world, and this Gu was a one-time expenditure type. Gruel Mud. Gu can only be used on mud, evidently. The swamp that swamp crab used to live in was created from the effects of Gruel Mud Gu. The swamp crab ate and defecated mud in the swamp every day. Thus it was able to bring the ability of the Gruel Mud Gu into Hu Immortal Blessed Land. After the swamp crab died, although the battlefield was cleaned up, large amounts of mud had already seeped into the mountain, moving deep underground. Gruel Mud Immortal. Gu's ability was so hidden, and there was no immortal Gu aura in the yellow mud. If Fang Yuan had not ordered the rockmen to crush the gutstones, he might not have found out at all. But even if he found out early, he had no ability to stop this during the calamity. Fang Yuan's expression was still as water. Donghun Mountain was being corroded by an immortal Gu, slowly turning into yellow mud. This was a great nightmare. The last valuable thing in this blessed land was this mountain. He wanted to rely on this mountain to nurture and sell rockmen. In the future, his own soul strengthening will also depend on this mountain. He could not sit around and watch the situation worsen. At once, Fang Yuan ordered Little Hu Immortal to clear out as much yellow mud as possible. This way, the danger was greatly slowed. But Donghun Mountain's interior was also corroded. This method could not cure the root of the problem. This was the power of the Gruel Mud Immortal Gu. To remove it, he needed to use an immortal Gu's power. I took such a huge risk to obtain this sacred land for soul strengthening. Even after I become an immortal, this mountain is still extremely valuable. I cannot let it be destroyed. Heaven does not want this sacred land to end up in the hands of men. Thus it sent such a calamity. But I will defy heaven. Hey, competing with men. Competing with heaven. This is the fun of life, that's all there is. With Fang Yuan's knowledge, he was not helpless and without a solution. He thought of more than 10 ways to solve this. After eliminating half of which were not feasible, and removing those which were too hard, he was left with three solutions. The first solution was the Earth Path Rank 6 Turn Rock Gu. This Gu was in Western Desert, held in the hands of Rank 6 Gu Immortal Sunku. Sunku is a righteous path Gu master. He used this Gu to turn sand into rocks. In order for people to build structures in the desert, he was very popular and received gratitude from the people. He was kind-hearted, but not resolute. He loved his family and doted on his granddaughter the most. If Fang Yuan could hold her hostage, he would definitely comply. The second solution was another Earth Path Rank 6 Immortal Gu, called Rebuilding Mount Dongshan. This Gu had already been refined. It was hidden in Eastern Sea's Haishi Blessed Land. Fang Yuan could enter the Blessed Land and use an Immortal Gu to exchange for this Gu. The third was the Time Path Rank 6 Immortal Gu Mountain like before. This Gu had not existed yet. It was not naturally formed. Its owner is Tai Bai Yun Sheng. He was still a rank 5 Gu master in Northern Plains at the moment. In southern border on Sansha Mountain, I refined fixed immortal travel Gu in public. It is obvious without a doubt that southern border is already in a huge commotion over it. A mortal that possesses an immortal Gu? I'm afraid all those Gu immortals in southern border are all notified now and are looking for me all over the continent. Until Fang Yuan becomes a Gu immortal, he was not going to step into southern border again. Although the 5 regions are isolated, the super clan Yi clan has a relationship with a mysterious organization in Eastern Sea. It will take at least 2 to 3 years until the news of me refining an immortal Gu reaches central continent, but that might not be the case for Eastern Sea. Fang Yuan eliminated Eastern Sea. As for Western Desert, it's the place where caravans flourish the most. Cities after cities, surviving using the oasis in the desert. If I can sell the rockmen there, I would earn a ton of profits. Unfortunately, a flourishing caravan trade means that information also travels fast. As a southern border Gu master, I am an easy target. Once I reach there, I'd probably be marked the moment I enter a city. In Fang Yuan's previous life, he roamed around all 5 regions during the 500 years, finally choosing central continent to settle down and become a Gu immortal. Thus, he had a clear understanding of Western Desert. Compared to Western Desert, Northern Plains is a huge grassland. All sorts of tribes graze their livestock, migrate, battle, and procreate there. There is high mobility, and some small mid-tribes have chaotic management. I can easily blend in with them. Western Desert was different from Northern Plains. In Western Desert, humans relied on oases to live. Thus, people are always gathered together. As long as the oasis is intact, nobody would make life difficult for themselves and go to another living area by making a dangerous and arduous desert journey. But in Northern Plains, tribes have to move around often, finding rich and fertile land to relocate to. The weather there is ever-changing. Strong weather conditions can destroy homes in a night. Tribes have no choice but to move. Because of this, the high mobility among tribes also cause conflicts to occur often, and battles often takes place. Thus, the number of Gu masters in Northern Plains is the highest, and they are also the ones most skilled at fighting among the 5 regions. If Fang Yuan chooses Western Desert, abducting a hostage and threatening a Gu immortal would cause a huge and lasting impact on the stability of Western Desert. But if he chose Northern Plains, even if he killed the rank 5 Gu master Tai Bai Yun Sheng, it would only be a mild commotion. In a few months, people will forget him. Fang Yuan thought it through and decided that the chaotic Northern Plains is most suitable for his actions. Sun Ku in Western Desert is already a Gu immortal, while Tai Bai Yun Sheng in Northern Plains is still a rank 5 peak stage. After deciding on his destination, Fang Yuan started to think hard, compiling all the important information he had in his memories to organize his plans for Northern Plains. Plans do not keep up with changes. Ever since rebirth, his plans had been changing continuously. The first time was on Qingmao Mountain when he became a rank aptitude. It was a huge breakthrough and thus caused a shift. Sansha Mountain was the second change. Fang Yuan soared to the sky in a single step, making all his plans unusable. Although there were still benefits in the Great Battle of Yitian Mountain, he could no longer stay in southern border. As for central continent, that would be even worse. He was immortal, the 10 righteous sects, the whole of Immortal Crane sect, and all the demonic Gu immortals on TNT Mountain were looking at him. As long as he did not reach Gu immortal realm, he would have to stay inside the Blessed Land, unable to come out. He had also planned to do that, growing his strength inside Hu immortal blessed land. The Blessed Land had ample resources. Fang Yuan wanted to be like Feng Zhuge, cultivating in secret until he reached Gu immortal realm, and get rid of the biggest problem called spring-autumn cicada. Although Fang Yuan was a risk-taker and liked to make profitable gambles, often struggling at death's door, it did not mean he rejected a peaceful and stable life. Refusing to stay in a safe environment and wanting to go around and create trouble for himself, taking risks and getting himself into danger. That is a fool. Loneliness, solidarity, boredom. Those were not obstacles to Fang Yuan's cultivation. If he did not have the nature to endure these, how could he walk on the road to success? But the world never goes your way. Problems often find you when you least want it. Fang Yuan wanted to cultivate in secret, developing the blessed land as he lived in peace. Although Immortal Crane sect was trouble, Fang Yuan kept the initiative the entire time. Although the other party is strong, they cannot do anything to him at the moment. The future prospects were great. His life was going smoothly. Everything had changed for the better. But at this moment, a problem happened to Donghun Mountain. To Hu immortal blessed land, Donghun Mountain's importance is insurmountable. If anything happens to this mountain, Fang Yuan's transactions would crumble, and his cultivation plans would turn into a mere dream. Thus, Fang Yuan had to change his plans, leaving the blessed land and entering northern plains. Thankfully, I planned in advance and made a few backup plans. Otherwise, I would be extremely caught off guard now. For the next few months, Fang Yuan spent all his efforts on Gu refinement. He used the rank 4 golden and silver cup Gu, combining with rank 4, another perspective Gu, and rank 4 moving form Gu to refine the rank 5 moving perspective cup Gu. Next, he refined Dusty Gu, Bright Pearl Gu, Dark Toss Gu, and Earth Treasury Flower King Gu. Land Spirit, during the days I'm gone, follow my instructions. Before leaving, Fang Yuan instructed. Little Hu Immortal's eyes were red as she said reluctantly, "Master, I am waiting for you here. You have to return quickly." Saying so, she used the green grape immortal essence and injected it into fixed immortal travel. With the burst of a jade green light, Fang Yuan vanished on the spot.